Hello, it is Friday night late. I'm recording this. Late means like 7:30. This is my corner with my little heating pad and my little chaise that I sit on. I am way down because I'm tired. It's been a long week. I am the Yarn Closet Arizona. I'm Laura, your host for this podcast. Sometimes we are visited by the poodles. I am Yarn Closet Arizona AZ on Instagram and Ravelry. We have a group on Ravelry. I pull prizes and send out sock tubes, soon to be hat tubes, and gifts about once or twice a month. I may be announcing another winner tomorrow on Instagram because if somebody subscribes, they could be the lucky winner. Did I say the stuff? I think I said the stuff. I have such a neat list today of actual stuff, and I know the lighting's a little bit poor. But I'm going to go over some stuff. Let's talk. Let's just talk. I got some yarn from Honeybee Knits. It is DK. My favorite DK of all time is from Stranded Dye Works, and it's her old Castaway. I'm not as in love with the new stuff. There was just something a little bit denser where her old DK seemed a little bit almost more worsted. Honeybees, it's just slightly denser. It doesn't pull skinny so easily. And I also got some Noro that I thought was DK weight-ish. It's slightly more rustic to having the silk content, and I'm hoping that it softens up once I wash and dry it. Because like I said, I'm gonna do sweater 2019. And I'll say one of the things I love, I really didn't have mojo in the last year to do much, but since I've started the podcast, it's kept, can you hear my son? He's singing. It keeps me going, it keeps me finishing those little projects and feeling a sense of accomplishment and really joy to share them with you. Because although sometimes when I'm out working, people are like, oh, that's beautiful, that's really cool. You know, but it's just that moment and they don't really get it, and you guys get it, and I love that. And I love the encouragement and suggestions. On that token, I found out one of my teacher's daughters, who's in high school, just started the crochet, and she was really excited. So over lunch one day I came home and I packed up a couple books and some yarn and some extra hooks and some knitting needles and just gave them to her. And she was just blown away in a small project bag. And yes, I loved that let's get 10,000 knitters going on such and such a day and whatever. But we can't forget that when we hear about that kid who's consistently going after a project and all they have is a hook and a skein of yarn and a friend who taught them, single crochet and how to turn, but they're determined it's going to be a blanket. And I mean, that's a huge undertaking. But she's been doing it for weeks now, and I was so excited that I had to encourage that. I had to promote that. And I'm so excited because when I ordered my sock machine, they said 6 weeks, which puts it at the week before Christmas, and I'm just so hopeful. So hopeful. I actually bought a second sock machine cover off Etsy. Oh my god, I love mine. Little sugar skulls. And I've been crocheting a lot with my just little bits and pieces of acrylic, trying to figure things out and how to use it up. Trying to finish up a project for a kid at school next week, and one thing I whipped out because I just needed to, because my heels on a few of the pairs that I'm doing are just not coming together as quickly as I'd like. I crocheted a tube, left a slit, more tube, put in an afterthought heel, a toe, and rim the top, and I have the cutest little stocking. I'm gonna grab it. Oh, I think my Noro just rolled off. I heard it. All right. All right. Okay. Was that me getting far too close? Sorry. Okay. Teguma? Teguma? And I didn't know that Noro had like little cardboard in the middle. I did not know that. Oh, the color's just not great. It's greens and cream and some really bright green pops. So I'm pretty excited. I'm guessing from everything I've read, because this is my first time with Noro, is that it's going to bloom quite a bit. I'm just shocked it felt quite so rustic with the amount of silk that it had in it. But I'm under the impression, like I said, that it's going to bloom quite a bit, because it's really not DK or worsted. It's definitely sport as it stands. But unless it softens significantly, it's certainly not something I would really want to wear next to skin, and I had gotten the impression that it was going to be much softer. So once again, I have a sweater quantity bought off eBay, just like my knit picks, that's slightly too rustic. Because I want to be able to make sweaters here that I can wear year-round, which means they have to be lighter and skin cozy. Here's the one heel that I'd finished before, and it's slightly too long for my foot. And like I said, I think part of my problem is that maybe I'm not putting the heel in quite where it needs to be, and that's why I don't like the feel or the look. So I'm thinking about adjusting, pulling out this toe and shortening the toe just to have a better fit. Because as much as people think, well, you've got a sock machine, you can just crank out those socks, and putting heels and toes in on the machine is not so easy. And placement on socks is huge, because I'm not years and years of knitting knowledge. I'm years and years of loom knitting and crochet knowledge, and yes, tons of socks. They were house socks. They weren't socks I was hoping to wear, you know, with boots or whatever. So definitely more in the line of this thing that I cranked out. This is some Lion Brand chunky stuff, and this is a green, and this is just a natural. But yeah, here it is. Like I said, altogether, if I were to sit down and make a second one, it would take me not even an hour. Not even an hour. And I mean, this is a sock blocker, and it's actually foot size. Like, I could wear this. Yes, I have a hanger on it, because I was thinking about making one for each of the kids. Because like I said, I think my husband threw away my Christmas box. It was last year. Part of his thing is a little bit of his memories going. It's that carbon monoxide retention. So trying to find and make some new life stuff here. Let's see, how can I do this? Look, look, look. So like I said, the green part is the crocheted part, and then the lighter color is knit, and it actually looks quite real socky. One of the things I've never liked about crocheted thick boot socks is that it didn't feel good to walk on the heels. The way that you have to do the short rows in crochet, they just are too bumpy. This is so much better with the stockinette. Yeah, I think I would actually, if I was really going to wear it, I think I would actually make it just a little bit longer. Ooh, an end I might not have woven in. But for decoration, it's absolutely fabulous. And I might just write it up and put it out for free or for $1 or something. Because I am looking at ways to kind of generate some help and some support towards the prizes. Because I love giving out the surprises. It's just the most fun part of all of this, other than the conversation. And I loved the conversation with Honeybee Knits. I know that she's expanding her stuff. She sent me a cute little orange pen. What was the colorway on this? This is her Lucky Star, I think, DK, and it was, this is one of the 100% superwash merinos. I just think that I'm going to be absolutely in love with this, because I can already tell it's going to be like a Yowza and like some of the things from Stranded Dye Works. I just love working with stuff where you get those little, you just know there's going to be a dot of crazy color here or there, a little bit of yellow. Trying to see, today is a challenge. Bright pink, you know. Oh, there's some great orange in there. Oh, I didn't see that. Wow. I mean, it's going to be fabulous. And I heard about her, Honeybee Knits company, Honeybee Knits co.etsy.com. I heard about her from WTF Knitting. They are friends, and loved her prices, dealing with her. I'm impressed. You know, because a lot of times those 100% merinos in the DK, they're more sport and they just thin out so easily. So I'm very, very excited about this. And I love me as a blind lady, pins where I'm not going to lose a cap. That is huge. That is so huge. So there is some fun stuff there. I'm about to start a star blanket for my niece's second child, a little boy. Because I can crochet those up pretty quickly. And I made a star for her daughter, so I think that would be fun. And I'm just nervous about my sweater 2019, I'll be honest. I haven't ripped back that one that I already started. I'm not sure that the inconsistencies in it will block out, and I just want to love some stuff. So my daughter actually wore a sweater that I crocheted for her to school the other day and she got lots of compliments. With uniforms, they're very limited on what they can wear, so I have to be precise when making things. But she loves the yarn, and she's been wanting to match Mommy lately. So we both wore our little cream colored, I wore a vest, and she wore a little cream colored granny square in the front and the back where I made some little sleeves. I love my mom today very, very much. I can say that I didn't growing up, and she knows that. I mean, I loved her, but we had a difficult woman's home. So it was my mom and dad, my older sister, and me. And I think when you're in a household with so many women, and a man that's maybe not as, my dad is loving and kind and nice, but he's not strongly macho and, like that. I think the female energy overwhelmed him more than once. And he didn't grow up in a family with a strong male role model. My grandma was definitely in charge. Which makes me sad because I sometimes wonder if I'm not perpetuating that with my son, because I'm a strong woman, and although my husband is definitely a very strong macho Marine man, I'm left to be the kid person the majority of the time. And I want my son to not feel like he has to just kind of fall in line if his wife is very knowledgeable or opinionated or emotional. Because sometimes I think that's all it is that we work in a different realm than men. So if all of a sudden we get freaky emotional about something, they'll just cave because they don't want to see it continue. It's uncomfortable for them. Boy, was that a rabbit hole. Anyway, I'm really enjoying the crochet, and maybe I'll crochet a sweater to start off the year of sweater. Or maybe I'll crochet a sweater over the Christmas break to end this year and kickstart Knit Sweater 2019. I'm thinking that perhaps we could have a make-along in the Ravelry group, like a sweater or cardigan or jumper or whatever you want to call it, yarn t-shirt make-along for the first few months, like January, February, March, and at the end, I'll randomly generate a prize for who's ever posted a picture of the progress of their piece. So either a finished picture, or you work, and something went wrong and you've got to put it on timeout. It doesn't have to be completely done. But if you make a valiant effort, then I'm thinking that might be something I do. And maybe a sweater sized bag, maybe a sweater pattern, definitely a Braille stitch marker or progress marker. So that's what I'm thinking. There was also someone who suggested a make-along on the Ravelry group in knitting, crocheting, and how it's healing us. And I know many of us are in that situation. I get chronic migraines, and oddly enough, there are times where if I catch it early enough, if I sit down in a quiet and a dark space and I do my knitting or crochet, because I can do a fair amount of that by feel, that can just take me into a better place, and it might even push it off for a while. That's one of the reasons why I like to always have a shawl that's in a simple garter stitch, because I can do that by feel, where there's only something happening at the beginning or the end of a row, and it's not like socks. Even the knit two togethers on the socks can sometimes get me, especially if it's a pair that I might be alternating rows with straight knit or whatever. So if you would like to see that kind of thread going on in the group, and you'd participate and comment and talk about your story, I think a lot of us are afraid to say much about our ongoing health issues, because we don't want to be seen as complaining women, and we're the strong women that hold our families together. So God forbid we complain about our weakness, or undermine our kids, give them that fear, oh, mom's sick or whatever. But we do need to talk about it at times. There are times you need to be able to vent and say, I'm sick of this. There's a woman at work, I love her to death, and we both understand each other, having been single moms for a while and having some health issues and just exhaustion. And it's just, she often complains that she doesn't feel like she can hold it together enough like some of the other women at work. You know what? I don't think she has to. And I don't think we all should feel like we have to. And I know a lot of us use the knitting to kind of get us by, to go into that zone. So give me some feedback. Where do you want the Ravelry group to go? I'm also looking at starting some threads in the new year for things like, what are your favorites? What are your tips and tricks? Because we all learn so much from each other, and that's so much fun. And I don't feel like I'm the best presenter or encourager when it comes to like how much I truly love a yarn. I mean, I was raised in Minnesota. We're stoic, we're Lutheran, we're quiet. This is wonderful. That's our level of excitement on most everything. So I'm trying to work on getting the joy out there and the excitement, and I'm seeing with my heart first and letting that move me and letting that be okay. So have a lovely weekend, and this will be up Saturday sometime with a possible winner denoted for a special prize, for a special reason. Because like Amy over at Stranded Dye Works in the UK, I have all these weird little, oh, well, that's a cool little thing coming up. Let's celebrate that. And that's, I guess, what the prizes really mean to me. Every time I send out a prize, for me, it's a celebration of something that happened that I'm excited about. I cannot believe that I have had more than 3 views for my 3 moms. Or, I cannot believe it. And I love it, and I love the support I've gotten from my kids and my dogs. And this thing that I'm embarking to improve upon every time I pick up needles or hook. And that brings me joy that I share with others. So thank you, ladies and guys. We will talk to you soon.